It all began about 22 years ago when your great Nono and Nona used to read bedtime stories to me about a Malaysian pirate, Sandokan the Brave, and his adventures defending Malaysia against the colonists. From their travels, all I could ever imagine Malaysia to be was a mystical and magical place. Well, fast forward to about 18 years later, I was in a popular student bar in Sheffield when I was introduced to a guy named Paul, who just so happens to be from Malaysia. After graduation, I knew I wanted to travel a bit before I started working full-time. So I used the money I had saved up from my working days in uni and bought myself a ticket to Malaysia. So I called your dad, who had already returned to Malaysia, and told him that I was heading down there. So when I landed in Malaysia, your dad picked me up at the airport and he brought me to this dodgy hotel in KL, and it was so scary. He tried to tell me that it'll be okay, but I was hesitant. My favorite thing about Malaysia would have to be the food. They have this open air restaurant where it's a bunch of hawker stalls, and I swear to you, the food is amazing. There was a wide variety of food. The seafood was amazing. One day I'll take you there, kids, and you'll just love the food. Okay, so you know how Malaysians are passionate about food? Well, some of your dad's friends took us all the way from the city center to Port Klang, which is an hour-long journey just to eat shellfish. An hour! But it was so worth it, I promise you. Through all of these adventures, the one thing that was constant was the presence of your father. He was there for every bite of food and every sight I saw, always making me feel comfortable and safe. So there's this one time we had to cross a really big road and he left without me. And then when he saw that I wasn't there, he ran back, grabbed my hand, and reassured me the whole way. It was definitely the little things, and as the number of days I stayed in KL grew, so did my feelings for him. We decided to get married 3 years later, and where else but in Malaysia. So after the whole formality of signing the papers, your father and I went back to see the place where our whole adventure began in KLCC. It was reminiscent of the first time I truly felt alive, and Malaysia is truly a magical and mystical city. And getting to experience that with your father, it only felt fitting for us to go back to the place to celebrate our marriage. And so, that was the story of how I met your father.